you're over the age of 35, stop everything you're doing right now. After a lifetime of eating fatty foods, you may run the risks of a stroke or heart attack due to plaque buildup in your veins and arteries. To learn how you can reduce your risks, visit youthfountainlab.com or call 1-800-853-7856 today. This may be a life-changing call for you or someone you love. Thank you, and we hope to hear from you.
Our people don't.
Hey, Michael. And I knew about alopecia because I had a friend who had it before. So then you don't know. And I really believe that Chris didn't know either. No. But I'm not sure that everybody there didn't know. But then again, now let's say this. Let's say a crew, somebody in the crew knew. Or let's say a cameraman knew. Right. Do they go up to the director and say, hey, you might want to tell your writers
not to do that.
Would they do that?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. People didn't know. Nobody.
No, because I'm saying maybe let's say that Will Packer's the director. Let's say they have a couple of black cameramen there. Maybe they don't know, but maybe they woman knows, and maybe they woman follows Jada, and maybe the woman might have mentioned it to them. Let's say somebody did know, Michael. Is it their duty to go to the director and say, hey, this joke might be taken in bad taste? Or do they keep their motherfucking mouth shut, do their job, and then have no idea that any of this is gonna happen?
I think that joke wasn't even, mind you, there are writers that write these material, and yes, as a comedian, my job is to perfect that material that they wrote. I'm 100% sure, because Will is like that hot topic, and Jada and Will been on all over the internet the last year, so there were topics. So you cannot have them sit in front of Oscars without making some kind of comment. I personally think that joke was more of the Oscar hating on Jada. Here's the reason why. The joke had nothing to do with her hair. That's what I think. I think the joke had nothing to do with her hair. If you go back to 2016 when Jada was trying to let her boycott the Oscars, and then, once again, Chris Rock hosted it, writers wrote a joke saying, hey, why is she boycotting the Oscars? She's not an actress. She's not working, just like, she's not invited. So, who is she to boycott the Oscars, right? So then come yesterday, and what he's saying to her, pretty much, the Oscars telling Jada, the only movie you could probably do by the way you look is G.I. Janie, because pretty much I think that whole slap in the face was more of, you're not a real actress. There's no role for you. You could probably get a role in Janie too because you have no hair.
First of all, and let me say this. If you're under a certain age, you don't even know what G.I. Jane is. Exactly. That movie came out in the 90s. Right. It starred Demi Moore. She had long, beautiful dark hair at that time, and she shaved it for that movie. Right. Chris or anybody else might think that Jada has shaved her head for fashion. She just tired of bleaching it, tired of doing this, and she shaved her motherfucking head. So I truly, honestly believe that Chris did not know. Because I don't think that any comedian, any professional comedian on a international platform like that is going to make fun of anybody with alopecia, anybody with AIDS, anybody with cancer, anybody with ALS, or any of that. I don't think that we do that on purpose. I don't.
Okay. So, all right. So and that's the thing. I don't think he knew because he didn't know. That's why I'm thinking that they were thinking past the hair, because I'm thinking that they were thinking past the hair. They were just thinking that, hey, Jada is not no real actress. She can't get no other role but G.I. Jane because that's the only role she could play. Regardless of the fact, all right, whatever way you want to think about the joke. I'm just thinking the worst to why they could have done this. I'm thinking of the worst because, like I told you, I didn't know about hair. I went to the Laugh Factory last night. I learned about the comedians. Nobody knew. So it's nothing like I don't follow Jada. You know?
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, absolutely. And you guys aren't sitting around watching the Red Table Talk and shit
Right.
like that. If any comedians knew, they were probably females, you know. And I'm pretty sure there weren't any up there, and if they were, you didn't ask them. But this is what I was thinking too, because there's, and I said this earlier on my life, there's a many men laying in a grave right now because a woman said, "You gonna let that motherfucker talk about me like that? You ain't gonna do nothing. You're a bitch."
Right. No, and the thing, and I've had my ex was she was not that type, but she the type that would get a nigga in a fight.
Right. I used to do that to my husband too. Right.
Exactly.
But okay, so when the camera showed Will and Jada in the two shot after Chris's joke, Will was laughing and Jada was rolling her eyes. Then the camera cut to Chris on a one shot. And between the time that the camera cut away and the next thing we seen was Will walking up to Chris, something was said. And Jada might have said something to Will, and he fucking just had it. He tired of having his sexuality be in question. He tired of having people say that Jada wears the pants in that family. He tired of having to deal with her entanglement and all this motherfucking shit. And he might have lost it. All I say was that he should apologize to Chris as a man, one-to-one on the phone as a man. If he didn't do it backstage, then do it publicly, which he did in a written statement. We would have liked to see his good emotional ass say it out loud. "Hey, I fucked up. I lost it. The bitch is driving me crazy," or something like that. And I just lost it.
Well,
I'm very possessed about my woman, da 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 da. But this type of shit usually is over in about 48 hours. But this one ain't gonna be over that quick. Because now this is in the history book and it's gonna come up every year. I would hate to see if they put plexiglass in front of the stage, but what they probably will do is not live stream anymore. They probably gonna pre-record the show just like they did Beyonce's performance and then show it later so they can cut out and edit out.
Yeah, that was, regardless of the fact, you don't go up and hit another man, period. You don't go hit nobody. I think that was definitely, and me being a non-violent type of person, which most comedians are, because don't get it wrong, every comedian was not always a comedian.
That's right.
A lot of these guys got out of jail. They took comedy as a way out of their little situation. A lot of comedians.
Yeah.
You, DC Young Fly was a dope dealer. I'm gonna snitch on this nigga, and whoever else and what they all did. Now Chris was very professional.
Yeah, he didn't even grab his motherfucking face.
Right.
I thought that was, I don't know, and he kept the show going, which is what the fuck he's supposed to do. And they done sold more tickets to him and Kevin's little tour that's getting ready to come up overnight than they had sold in the last 3 months of promoting the thing. A lot of people was like, that could have been staged. I don't think that Will would take an L like this for anything fake, especially on the night that he won the Oscar, and then it distracted against Will Packer's efforts, it distracted against Questlove's speech, it distracted against the fact that there was 3 women hosting, it distracted against all that shit. A deaf person, a lesbian Latina one for West Side Story, all this epic shit, and everybody's just talking about this brother hitting another brother. I don't want to see brothers fighting, shooting, killing, or doing anything to each other. But this was a very unfortunate situation. And
do you agree? Do you agree that Will Smith knew that he was going to win this award? You agree? I think we all knew, right?
I think that he was very hopeful and pretty sure.
Okay.
You never know what white folks gonna do at the last minute. So even though he thought he might win,
let me tell you something.
There's always a chance that you don't.
Let me tell you, they hired Will Packer I'm not sure when the hiring happened, but trust me, when they got Wolfpack involved and this person involved, it was all meant for Will Smith. It was all
Well,
meant for Will. I'm
okay, and so
99.9%
he
sure.
won, but he fucked up his win even. But do you ever think about this? Does anybody ever think about this? Sanaya and the other young lady who played Venus and Serena were sitting right there watching him. He done been a mentor to these girls for months. They've been shooting this movie for almost 2 years, you know, and he's been like the kindest, most caring, wonderful actor that they have worked with to date. And there's other families that were sitting around watching this, hoping that he would win. There's kids that's taking tennis in Compton right now that was watching this, hoping that he would win. So all the adult shit aside, what the fuck does this say to the fucking kids?
So true.
That's terrible.
My thing is, I don't think I know he just put out an apology. I don't think his apology is sincere. And the reason why I said that, because if you really meant to apologize to that guy, he would have did it when he got his award. He apologized to everybody but him. So he wake up today and his press or whoever, his PR is like, hey, you got to do something. And then he put on an apology. It's still not,
Well, he must have been on ecstasy or something, because I wouldn't have went to the party neither. I would have been so motherfucking shamed that I would have took my ass home. And I would have grabbed Jada by whatever little stubble she had on her head and drug her ass home too. And we're going to the motherfucking house. But it was turning up at the goddamn Vanity Fair party. You know, I mean, he had to celebrate his win, but it was just, and I hate that for Will. But I hate that. I just bought his book last week, you know, about to download the audio thing. But he got some, you know, there's a lot of shit going on in that house that could have made him snap. He just snapped at the wrong time. Everybody's got a snapping point, you know. You fuck with my kid, or you fuck with my, you know, my mama or something like that, and all bets are off, and I get that. But goddamn.
But I don't think at that particular moment with that particular joke, it was that serious. Correct?
Well, you know, I'm telling you, she must have got in his ear and said, listen.
That fast?
What else would have made him? He was laughing 1 minute and hitting somebody the next moment. Well, she might have said, get your bitch ass up.
To me, the laugh was fake.
Yeah, because there's that nervous laugh. Sometimes you got that nervous laugh, right? That you laugh while you're processing what's going on. But you have to be pretty ballsy. You have to think you're little mama or something to hop up on the goddamn stage at the Oscars.
Exactly. Here's the thing, though. I've been to a lot of award shows, and I've seen a lot of award shows where even the ESPYs, where they would make fun of somebody. The camera would show the camera would show his face. He ain't laughing. That makes the crowd laugh. That he's not laughing. That he didn't find it to be funny. And I thought, I'm like, okay, Jada, you didn't like this joke. We saw your expression.
If he'd have never got up, we wouldn't even be talking about this right now. We'd be talking if he didn't just never got the fuck up. Because it was for those who knew and understood it and didn't know anything about her condition, it was an amusing joke. But you have to be a certain age to even get it.
Get the joke, yeah.
And then you have to be oblivious to the fact that she got alopecia.